Okay, when you like.
Suddenly, to be faced with the harsh realities of skin cancer, I felt a need to help, to lend my voice and energies to this campaign. And I hope in the next few minutes I'm going to persuade you to do the same.
Australia's best-known woman talks about a little-known killer, the Australian cancer melanoma. Maggie Tabra is making a video urging Australians to cover up when they hit the beaches next summer. Maggie's teamed up with a courageous young man, Mark Marcelis, who is dying of melanoma.
Did you know how you got the melanoma in the first place?
Strongly suspect it has a lot to do with my early days of going to the beach between 13 and 20 years of age. Went to the beach.
When the doctors told Mark his days were numbered, he made a vow. He would warn as many others as he could about this disease we get from the sun.
22, I was a great beach guy. I used to lie out for days in the sun, and every weekend we went religiously to the beach.
Mark was a sun lover like most Australians. He never bothered about hats, and he didn't waste time on sunscreens. His home movies say it all, a slice of the Aussie lifestyle. With all this fun in the sun, it's hard to believe we're watching a tragedy in the making. If you look carefully at Mark's back, you can see the mole that sunshine turned into a malignant melanoma.
Hello, Mark. How are things going?
Not too bad.
What's happening with these lumps of yours now?
Well, I've got a couple of new ones on the back here.
Professor Bill McCarthy is a melanoma specialist.
What about this one? This one here, it seems to be almost coming through the skin. Is that new?
No, that's been there for a while.
He says Mark had the mole removed, but he left it years too late. Now the melanoma is spreading through his bloodstream.
It was just unfortunate that it should have got into the bloodstream and started to recur under the skin as it has.
It's only a matter of time until the melanoma reaches the vital organs.
He wanted to know, what can I do? His first reaction was, can I beat this? You know, I'm young, healthy, dynamic. If anybody can beat it, so can I. Can. That's what the kind of reaction.
Can he beat it now?
No, he can't. He'd be very unlikely. He'd be very lucky to do it at this stage.
Mark, has Professor McCarthy given you your odds?
Yeah, he told me once that I asked him after the second operation where they removed all the lymph glands, where do I go now? And he said, well, if hopefully everything will be okay, but if it's not, if it gets into the bloodstream, you'll probably be dead in 2 years.
When was that?
A year ago.
How long do you think you might have?
One would have to say that he'd be very ill by Christmas. He may even be dead by Christmas.
When melanoma strikes, it's devastating for victim and loved ones. They never expect it, especially if they're as young as Mark and his girlfriend Lee. But this couple are determined to make the most of their precious time.
The more time that we spend together being as normal as possible without living in fear is better for us.
When you look at a clock, look at a calendar, do you find yourself jealous of the hours and the days that you have together, that you want more time?
No, I don't look at it like that. Personally, I don't look at it like that. I think if I was to look at it like that, I would be setting a date for tragedy to happen.
The only date Mark and Lee are setting is a date for their marriage. In this case, it was not your average marriage proposal.
I mean, I would never have asked. It was
my idea.
It was her idea, yeah.
It was. You proposed to Mark, did you?
No, I didn't propose, I just told him.
In a sense, I suppose, yeah. I think we should get married. Oh, okay, dear. Yes, whatever you say. And I would never have asked, because how do you ask? How can you offer somebody some sort of existence when there may be no existence?
As well as marriage, Mark and Lee are now debating an even bigger decision, whether or not to have a child.
Lee, do you want to have a child with Mark?
I'd like to. If it happened, it would be great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I haven't planned anything. I haven't looked ahead that far yet.
Yeah, I'm not keen to start a family, but I wouldn't I don't think I'd deny her right to have children.
Some people would think that you are very courageous to even be contemplating marriage at this point.
I don't see it as a courageous act. I don't get up every morning and think melanoma is the main thing in my life. I never thought, oh, he might go and die on me. I'd never think that. I don't think that at all.
You're showing great courage. Where do you think...
Mark has touched everyone, from Maggie Tabra to his doctor, Professor McCarthy.
Mark is a man of great fortitude and courage. He has decided that he wants to do something about it. He wants to try and ensure that other people don't follow the track he followed.
You ever had the mole on the side of your face checked?
No, I haven't had that one checked at all. I really never worry about skin cancers or suntans. It's like when you go swimming, you know, you don't... I never sort of worry about sharks. I suppose the skin cancers are the same. I've just...
Face to face with a bronzed Aussie, and you can see what Mark is up against. None of us thinks we can get a melanoma.
Would you know how to check the moles on your boys' backs? Not really, no. The oldest bloke's got a few moles on him, but there's no problems with them as far as I can see.
Can we have a look at these?
On there. There's a couple around the side here. And when I'm on my surfboard, they start to sting as well.
Do they?
Yeah, they get a bit rough.
Bit itchy, do they? They ever bleed?
Sometimes they do.
Do they?
Yeah.
Might be an idea to get it checked
Yeah,
up.
I've seen
It still staggers Mark that Australians are so ignorant about a disease that strikes 3,500 of us every year. But then Mark and Lee were just like the rest of us.
Did you ever find yourself trying to talk him out of being in the sun?
No, I talked him into being in the sun. The opposite.
So you're the one to blame?
Yep.
Why was that? You didn't like his paleness?
No, I didn't. It's not trendy to be pale. No, I'm not saying that he should have been trendy. I spent a lot of time in the sun and have done all my life. And next to Mark, he just looks so pale. And I used to say to him, why don't you just go out and get a little bit of sun on your face or a little bit of sun on your chest?
Do you regret that now?
I do. Yes, I do. And I'm sure a lot of the times that he did lie in the sun, it was because I said, you look really sick and I think you should lie in the sun, so he did.
Could you have saved Mark if you had discovered this sooner?
Oh, absolutely, yes. He's completely curable in the early phases, as is everyone else. If you can get the mole before it's begun to penetrate, the melanoma, before it's begun to penetrate to any depth in the skin, it's totally curable.
Here's what you should be looking for: a mole that's changing colour. That dark edge signals melanoma.
If you've got a mole that has a clear change over a period of 2 to 3 months, then you may well have trouble. And the change is it usually tends to get darker, it gets bigger, it gets more irregular around the edges become indefinite. And then you see this mole that is then by that time quite clearly different.
I don't think there's any particular
On the
cure at
beach,
moment.
Mark spots another classic melanoma target. Lily white under the midday sun, this girl has no protection for the moles on her body. But when Mark tells his story, even a stranger is moved as she realises it could happen to her.
Will you be all right? Or they
Oh, yeah, you
no
can't get me down.
guarantees?
There's never any guarantees, but I don't think that's so... like I said, I try not to think about it too much. I'll be all right. Have a positive outlook.
Yeah.
That's right.
Lovely way to go. Want a tissue? I can give you.
What a guy.
There are days when Mark and Lee still can't believe this is all happening to them. But Mark is determined to keep talking about melanoma, to use his last breath to warn the rest of us.
I don't really mind if we frighten the people. I don't want to terrify them, but if we just push them far enough to go and get any of the moles on their body checked that they are potentially melanoma, then we've achieved something.
What do you think it's going to take to make us all wake up?
Well, certainly I hope it's not me dying, but then...
Hello, I'm Liz Hayes. Thanks for watching. To keep up with the latest from 60 Minutes Australia, make sure you subscribe to our channel. You can also download the 9Now app for full episodes and other exclusive 60 Minutes content.